Dick Gibson here. Uncle Deke. The last video we did was how to assemble a Nikon D7000 and put it in an Iglite housing and get it ready to take underwater with about 22 pounds of camera and a small bus to push through the water. Here we're going to show you something different. We're going to show you the GoPro to take underwater. Little bit of difference. Now I know it's apples and oranges, but I'm going to compare the two and we'll talk about the comparison of the two. I told you we were going to compare equipment. Here we go. I'm using a GoPro Hero. This is the second generation. I've got a Hero 2 now. I would get one of those. When I got this one, they didn't have that one. You know how fast things are changing. They both work the same. They both fit in the same housing. They both assemble the same way. So any instruction I give you on this one will be the same for the newer one. One thing I've learned was that the battery that's in this will last about an hour. But when you go on most ocean dives, you'll make 2 dives and you'll have 2 hours worth of battery use. So they have an extra battery pack that you can buy that will double the battery life of the camera. And it's always better to not have to open the camera on the boat. That is just a real no-no. I've been diving with a guy that didn't have the extra battery pack, and he had to figure out a way to open up the camera and change batteries between dives. Everything is wet. There's lots of spray. It's just not a good idea. He got away with it, but I wouldn't recommend that. So get the extra GoPro battery pack. It's really simple. This is it right here. And it fastens onto the back just like this. You hook it right here. Push this end in like this. And that's all there is to it. Now you've got 2 hours worth of battery instead of 1. With this battery pack comes a different back for the housing. Use the same front, but a different back to let the camera fit in there because it's about a ½ inch thicker. Here's where a simple thing becomes a little bit complicated. And I told you I was going to give you product information. This is pretty important. GoPro says that the housing is good to 200 feet. And I believe it is, because I've been to 140 feet with it and had no trouble at all. The problem is when I first got down here and started using this camera in this housing, I found out that it wasn't in very good focus. So I got on the internet and found out that the normal dome port on the housing that comes with the camera is not the right shape to give focus underwater. It's all right, but it's not very good. I got on the internet and found out that there were several companies that were making housings that had a flat port on them to change that. So I got on the internet, ordered one. Here it is. Notice the large flat port. This is from a company called Eye of Mine. E-Y-E-O-F-M-I-N-E. Eye of Mine. I put this on here, immediately took it on a 140-foot dive, and the clarity of the picture was amazing. Absolutely amazing. 180 degrees different than with the GoPro housing. Super clear. That one thing, this flat port. Now, this company takes out the little dome. It's not in there. And they glue with some kind of an epoxy this piece of flat plastic on the front of the camera or the housing. That's okay. Looks a little bit crude, but it works. Since I bought this, they've come out with another model that's a little bit better, of course, right after I got this one. Same company. We were down here at a resort and saw somebody renting one of these with another model yet. So there's lots of people making these already. I'm sure that GoPro will have some kind of an adapter that will just screw on. Be a good idea. Now the apples and oranges comparison I was showing you. Let's assume that all of the surfaces are clean, and we're going to assemble this and put it in the housing to take it underwater. Here's the housing. Has the thicker back on it that came with the extra battery pack to make sure it fits. This part of the housing is the one that came from the Eye of Mine company. You pull back on this little bail right here and open this up. Now the big difference here is there's no O-ring. They use a white plastic or vinyl seal. I recommend taking it off and cleaning it just like an O-ring. You clean the case, you clean this. I've done that. Here's how you put it together. Ready to go in the water. Make sure everything is clean. You can see the seal all the way around to see if there's anything in the way of it. You can see it from the back, from the front, from the top, from the sides. Make sure everything's clean. Make sure that the camera comes on and operates, and that you can take a picture with it. See the light? It's taking a picture of you right now. How about that? We'll show this maybe in the video. This is the difference. Quite a bit easier. Now obviously it is not the same camera as the D7000, but it is an amazing little video camera, and I would give it some consideration. Also, there's about 21 pounds difference, maybe 21.5 pounds difference, because this doesn't weigh anything in the water. I've had it in underground caves, the cenotes. I've had it in the ocean, deep diving. It's been inside of wrecks. It's been all kinds of places so far, and absolutely no trouble with it whatsoever. I actually have a fitting on top of the big Ike housing, and I put it on top of there, and I have a backup camera on top of the other housing at the same time. GoPro. Give it a try.